Song Ting, when you read this, I will be gone. The train ticket is on the table next to this letter. It is a one-way trip. I am not coming back. I have already taken back our marriage papers from the local office. We are not getting married anymore. We are not anything to each other anymore. I thought about what to write, how to explain the big gap between us. But the simplest words are the truest. I am leaving because you stopped believing me. You stopped seeing me. All you see now is Liu Ying. I have to leave to find a place where I can see myself again. I spent 8 years waiting for you. I remember the day you left for the army. You tied this piece of red string around my wrist. You said it connected us, no matter how far. You told me to wait, and I promised I would. I kept that promise every single day. I learned to cook your favorite foods, the spicy fish stew, the twice-cooked pork. I would make them for your parents, pretending you were about to walk through the door. I waited. I believed in the simple strength of that red string. The house felt empty without you, but I filled it with thoughts of our future. I pictured the day you would come home for good. We would turn in our marriage papers. We would have a small, happy wedding. I would wear the white dress we talked about. I imagined our children running in the yard I kept neat and tidy for you. Every night I touched the red string on my wrist before sleep. It was my anchor and my promise. It was how I showed the 8 years I gave to you. Then she came back. Liu Ying arrived at your parents' house one afternoon. She was not alone. A small boy held her hand. He had your eyes, Song Ting. The same shape, the same dark look. He looked at you right after you came home on leave, and he called you Dad. The word hung in the air, heavy and sharp. It broke the bubble of the life I had so carefully built for us. Dad. Your mother, your father welcomed her. They gave her a room. They treated her like a daughter-in-law who'd finally come home from a long, difficult trip. Suddenly, I was the outsider in the home I had taken care of. Liu Ying settled in so easily, as if she was just taking back her rightful place. She knew how you liked your tea. She knew which chair was your favorite. She spoke of old memories I was never a part of. Secret jokes from a time before me. She moved through the house as if she owned it. Something I never felt, even after 8 years. I watched her, and I felt myself start to disappear. I became a ghost in my own life, hanging around the edges of your new family. I kept cooking. I kept cleaning. I tried to stick to my routine, my purpose. I would be in the kitchen, my hands deep in flour, and I would hear her laughing from the living room. I would serve the meals I had lovingly made, and you would pass the best pieces of meat to her plate, and then to the boys' bowl. You did it without thinking. It was a natural, easy thing to do. A gesture you once saved for me. I felt a coldness spread through my chest, a deep, empty ache that had nothing to do with the winter cold outside. Your parents told me to be patient. They said you were confused. They said Liu Ying had a hard life. They asked me to understand. But no one asked her to understand me. No one saw the 8 years I had waited. No one remembered the promise shown by the red string on my wrist. I was expected to just accept it, to step aside nicely, to watch the life I had waited for be given to someone else. I was the loyal one, yet I was the one who had to make room for the one who had left. The fights started over small things. They were never really about what we were yelling about. One day, Liu Ying accused me of wasting water. She said I used too much when I was washing vegetables. She yelled at me in the yard, in front of the neighbors. She called me wasteful. She said I did not understand how hard it was to earn money. You were there, Song Ting. You stood and listened. You did not defend me. You did not say a single word. Your silence was the loudest sound in the yard. It told everyone that she was right, and I was wrong. My shame was a real feeling. I could feel the neighbors' eyes on me. I saw their pity. I saw their judgment. I had been the respected future daughter-in-law for so long. Now, I was just a problem, an obstacle. Later that day, we were by the river. Liu Ying was washing her hair. She dropped her favorite hair tie into the water. It was a simple, cheap thing with a plastic flower. She looked at you, her eyes filling with tears. She said it was a gift from you. She asked you to get it for her, but the water was deep and cold. You did not jump in. Instead, you turned to me. You looked at me, and you told me to get it. You said I was a better swimmer. You said it would mean a lot to her. I stared at you, unable to believe what you were asking. You wanted me to dive into the cold river to get a hair tie for the woman who was taking my place, for the woman who had shamed me just hours before. I saw Liu Ying's small, happy smile from the corner of my eye. She knew she had won. She knew you would choose her. And so, I did it. I walked into the freezing water. The cold shocked my skin, but it was nothing compared to the ice in my heart. I dove under, my eyes stinging, and I searched the murky bottom. I found the stupid plastic hair tie. I came up, gasping for air, and I held it out to you. I handed it to you, and you immediately gave it to her, your attention already focused on making her feel better. You did not even look at me, shivering and soaking wet. In that moment, I understood. I was not a person to you anymore. I was just a tool to be used for her happiness, you know. The final break came a week later. It was late at night. The boy, her son, had a fever. Liu Ying was frantic. She started blaming me. She claimed I had left a window open and made him sick. It was a lie. I had checked all the windows myself before bed. We argued. Her voice grew louder, more upset. She ran to the kitchen. I followed her, trying to calm her down, trying to make her see reason. She grabbed a fruit knife from the counter. Her eyes were wild. She lunged, not at me, but at her own arm. She screamed. It was a terrible, sharp sound. You came running into the kitchen. You saw her on the floor, holding her arm. You saw the blood. You saw me standing there, frozen in shock. And you saw the knife lying between us. Before I could say a word, she pointed at me. She cried that I had attacked her. She said I was jealous. She said I wanted to hurt her and her son. She made me out to be a monster, crazy with jealousy. And you, Song Ting, you looked at her. Then you looked at me. I saw the decision in your eyes before you even spoke. I saw the little bit of doubt replaced by cold certainty. You did not ask me what happened. You did not look for the truth. You believed her story instantly. You rushed to her side, holding her, whispering comforting words. You glared at me over her shoulder. Your look was filled with so much disappointment and anger. It was as if you were looking at a stranger, someone you had never known, never loved. The man who had tied a red string to my wrist was gone. You told me you could not believe I would do something like that. You said you never thought I had such cruelty in me. Your words were worse than any physical hit. They erased 8 years of love. They erased 8 years of loyalty. They erased 8 years of waiting. In that single moment, you judged me, and you found me guilty. You chose her lie over my truth. You sided with the woman who had appeared out of nowhere over the woman who had given you almost 10 years of her life. That was when I knew it was over. The red string on my wrist finally broke. The next morning, I did not cry. I did not scream. The storm inside me had passed, leaving behind a strange and quiet calm. While you were taking Liu Ying to the clinic, I made my decision. I walked to the town office. The clerk knew me. She smiled and asked if I was there to set a date for the wedding. I shook my head. I told her I was there to take back the marriage papers we had filed when you came home on leave. Her smile faded. She looked at me with pity as she processed the paperwork without a word. It was a simple, official act, but it felt like freedom. From there, I went to the post office. There was a letter waiting for me. I had been holding on to it for a month, too scared to open it. It was an acceptance letter from a university in the city. I had taken the entrance exam months ago, in secret. It was a small seed of a different life I had planted for myself, just in case. Holding the letter in my hand, I felt the first tiny spark of hope. It was a path forward. It was a door opening out of this house of lies and heartbreak, a future that belonged only to me. My last stop was the train station. I used the money I had saved from my part-time tutoring job. I bought a ticket for the earliest train heading south the next morning, a one-way ticket. Holding it felt solid, real. It was my proof of escape. I went back to the house. Everyone was still focused on Liu Ying, fussing over her small injury. No one noticed me packing my few things into a small suitcase. I moved silently through the rooms that had been my whole world for 8 years. I felt no sadness, only a deep sense of relief. I wrote this letter at the kitchen table where I had made so many meals for you. I put the train ticket and the taken-back marriage papers next to it. Then, I looked at the red string on my wrist. It was faded and worn. I untied the knot you had made all those years ago. It felt strange to see my wrist bare after so long. I placed the string on top of the letter. It is a promise returned, a debt paid. I am leaving you with the life you have chosen, Song Ting. I am going to find my own. My new life began on that train. The journey south was long. With every mile, I felt lighter. University was a blur of learning, new friends, finding a version of myself I never knew existed. I was not just someone waiting for a man to come home. I was a student, I was a scholar, I was Zhiqiu. I met Han Yu in the university library. He was kind and patient. He saw me, the real me. He loved my mind and my heart. He never asked me to be smaller. He encouraged me to grow. We graduated together. We got married in a small ceremony, surrounded by friends celebrating. We have a daughter now. She has his smile, my eyes. Our home is filled with laughter, not quiet sadness. It is filled with books, messy art projects, and Han Yu's terrible attempts at cooking. He tries, though. He always tries. Sometimes, watching him read a story to our little girl, a wave of deep thankfulness washes over me. This is happiness. Not the dream I once held onto that never happened, but a real, true joy I wake up to every single day. I found everything I was looking for after I lost what I thought I wanted. I rarely think of you, Song Ting. The past is a distant land. I heard through a distant relative that Liu Ying left you a few years after I did. Apparently, the boy was not yours. She had lied. I felt nothing. No satisfaction. No anger. It was simply a story about people I no longer knew. My life is here now, and with Han Yu, with our daughter, with the job I have built, I am happy. Truly, deeply happy. The kind of happiness that settles into your bones and keeps you warm. And you, Song Ting, you are still in that old house. I picture you there sometimes. It is 2026 now. 8 years have passed. I imagine you at that same kitchen table where I left my letter. You are alone. In your hand, a faded, worn piece of red string. You look at it, and for the first time, you understand what you lost. You understand that loyalty cannot be gotten back like a hair tie from a cold river. You understand that belief, once broken, can never be fully fixed. And you are filled with a regret that is 8 years too late.